watching no blooper. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the Freak. And number 50, the General Lead. Cowboys, no need to flex. Like there's Brian, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget. Jason Witten and a trip bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world, y'all know Jerry Jones.
I need to know, man. Real quick. Word is out, man. How are you enjoying your rookie? Yo, first,
How do you feel about continuing that legacy of
We the five-time Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching no blooper. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the Freak. And number 50, the General Lead. Cowboys, no need to flex. Like Brian, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget. Jason Witten and the trip bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world, y'all know Jerry Jones. Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching no blooper. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the Freak. And number 50, the General Lead. Cowboys, no need to flex. Like there's Brian, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget. Jason Witten and a trip bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world, y'all know Jerry Jones.
Route, man. I want to know, man.
We the five-time Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching no blooper. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the Freak. And number 50, the General Lead. Cowboys, no need to flex. Like there's Brian, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget. Jason Witten and a trip bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world, y'all know Jerry Jones.
What the first INT to the house gonna look like?
We the five-time Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling. Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching no blooper. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the Freak. And number 50, the General Lead. Cowboys, no need to flex. Like there's Brian, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget. Jason Witten and a trip bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world, y'all know Jerry Jones.
I need to know, man. Real quick. Word is out, man. How are you enjoying your rookie? Yo, first,
How do you feel about continuing that legacy of
We the five-time Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching no blooper. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the Freak. And number 50, the General Lead. Cowboys, no need to flex. Like there's Brian, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget. Jason Witten and the trip bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world, y'all know Jerry Jones. Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching no blooper. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the Freak. Number 50, the General Lead. Cowboys, no need to flex. Like there's Brian, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget. Jason Witten and a trip bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world, y'all know Jerry Jones.
Number one in the nation.
team is like watching no blooper. We about to take it back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the Freak.
The 2019 Dallas Cowboys season is only a few months from kicking off, but this year, let's do things a little different. Instead of just watching games at home or just going to a game, let's actually experience our Dallas Cowboys, just like West Coast does. Cowboys Experience is my one-stop shop for all my Cowboys game day weekends. Their packages are all inclusive, including 2 nights hotel accommodation. We'll pick you up and drop you off at the airport and game. Want to hang out and get autographs from current and former Cowboy greats like Drew Pearson? If you're ready to experience the Dallas Cowboys like no other, make sure you inbox West Coast or go to cowboysexperience.com today. The 2019 Dallas Cowboys season is
Hey, what up, y'all? It's that time of the year again for our annual gala. On June 8th, we will be hosting our 2019 Diamonds and Pearls Gala down in Davie, Florida. You can purchase tickets or find out more information on 88blessings.org. On top of honoring our single moms, we will also be honoring Lori from Make Our School Safe. I hope to see you all there. Much love. Hey, what up, y'all? It's that time of the year again for our annual gala. On June 8th, we will be hosting our 2019 Diamonds and Pearls Gala down in Davie, Florida. You can purchase tickets or find out more information on 88blessings.
All right, what's up with you guys? It's your boy West Coast, and we are live in the building, man. Had some little things we had to get done before we got up in here, make sure everybody was straight. But we got everybody up and straight, man. We got the 3 amigos of Cowboy Talk Football, man. You know, I am Offset. I do the deep voice. You got right below us, you got Quavo. And to the immediate left, we got Takeoff. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm playing with y'all. We got 3 amigos of Cowboy Football, man. I got my boy Boss Cowboy on here. And officially, I'll let you go ahead and say it, man. You got his first, he went out there in the world and got himself a nickname. He did something big, man. What they call you around your part, sir?
The OC.
The OC. I heard that, man. So we got the OC on here, man. We'll let you know where you can follow him at the end of this show, but we got the OC on here. Y'all already know who I am. I'm West Coast, man. So let's get this show going. Let's get this thing popping real quick. So, we got in the comment box, we got some crazy comments, but I'm going to say hi before I get into the crazy comments. We got Buddha. What up with you, man? Buddha says, early this time, what's good, nation? What's up with you, man?
Buddha early.
Yeah, I know. And then we got Dwayne Wright, say he from 936. Dash West Texas. I'm thinking he's saying Cowboys. He said he ready to get 6. We got Prince James says if Zeke gets suspended, I trust the backs behind him. But who think will start, Pollard, Jackson, Weber, or Chun? I'm gonna be honest with you, neither. I mean, I like them all. They probably good people. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna probably grab a Pollard jersey on the strength. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably be the first one with it. You know what I'm saying? And might even get a Weber jersey just on the strength. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't want none of them. I don't want none of them starting. And to be honest with you, if something does happen to Ezekiel Elliott, I want the Dallas Cowboys honestly to go into free agent and take a free agent running back. That's why. We are a Super Bowl contending teams. Super Bowl contending teams do not leave it up to 4 guys who were barely on the roster. Well, 2 of them weren't even on the roster last year. One guy we cut twice. Another guy we released and we brought him back. Teams that are logistically trying to make a Super Bowl don't do that type of stuff. You know what they do? They take a flyer from the Miami Dolphins and bring a Jay Ajayi in. They do those type of moves. But that would not be, in my opinion, a smart move, considering we are a run team, to leave it up to 4 guys, and half of them weren't even on the team last year. And think about this. The other 2 guys that weren't on the team, they don't even have stars on their helmets yet. So they haven't even earned the star. So I have no reason to trust them. You know what I'm saying? What are y'all thoughts, man? On Zeke's suspension, and then also possibly, what do you think the contingency plan? Let me get your reaction, because the NFL did decide they're going to investigate. Obviously, it's a Cowboy related. I had a little situation where I actually missed a turn down here to the left, and I got a notice in the mail from Roger Goodell. He looking for me right now. Hoping it don't work out. You know what I'm saying? But just pray for me. But the OC, man, new man with the nickname, man. What are your thoughts on the possibility of? Is there a possibility you feel of him being gets suspended? What are your reaction to it? And also, I want to know the other second portion of my question, man. What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, so I mean, really, I think that you got Pollard. I think that kid is a burner. He's a big, strong back, and I think that behind the veteran offensive line, you've seen backs in the past come into the NFL and do well. Okay, I think that he's a viable option. Although Mike Weber, I'm happy to hear from the Garrett interview that he's doing well with his knee, because to me, he's your more natural inside runner. I see Pollard as more so of your heavy hitter. He can kick return, he can catch out of the backfield, and he's a strong guy. So I think with the offensive line being key in terms of being healthy, if they're healthy, they'll create some creases for either one of those guys, in my opinion. Are they Ezekiel Elliott? No way. They're not Ezekiel Elliott. But are they serviceable if he gets suspended for a couple games? Absolutely.
And if they hit, we need to kind of like talk before we even talk about like. Can you hear me? Before we even kind of like go into depth as far as like if he gets suspended, we need to really kind of talk about the thought is there a possibility of him even getting suspended? Because I think that is, that I'm under the assumption, Charles, the OC, to be honest with you, if we lose Zeke, it's going to be longer than 6 games because he's already been in violation of the policy. And the policy, when it graduates in punishment, it goes from 6 games and under the disciplinary under what he violated, it goes from 6 to banishment. It's not like the marijuana, where with marijuana you first get a warning, then you get a 2, then you get a 4-game suspension, then you get a 6-game suspension, 10-game suspension, 1-year suspension. The tiers on the domestic, now not even domestic violence, but on conduct are different. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm kind of leaning toward the thought where I'm thinking like he's not gonna get suspended, or if he does, it's gonna be for an extended amount of time, which will require you getting a free agent running back. But I love your points of view on it, man. We finally got YouTube up. What up with y'all over there, Phillies Cowboy? What up with you, OG Mark Holmes? I see you over there, man. What up with you, Philly Cowboy out there repping it in enemy territory? And we got Germ on the beat. What up with you guys, man? Boss Cowboy, man. What are your thoughts on this, man? What are your reaction to the NFL? Picking up the case, obviously. I say picking up the case like they the DA. The DA didn't picked up the case. You know what I'm saying? And basically, that's what it is. The Punisher.
And hit that cross post button because it's not showing up on.
I know. That was on me. I don't know if I'll be able to. Let me see if I can go back and do it.
But I say, first I would say start the youngsters. I don't want a vet. I want the youngsters to learn by fire. I think it's enough vets around and to hold them. Second, I do think Zeke is going to get suspended. One of the main reasons I think he's going to get suspended is because, I try to look at precedent, and I look at the fact that Terrence Williams, got a pretty hard sentence for what he was, his conduct. And so it's too much broad language. And I think it's not just even about what happened. I think it's also about the pressures that's on Goodell by the other owners. And, it's a lot of envy behind the Dallas Cowboys. And I think it's a lot of envy with the New England Patriots. So whenever anybody had a chance with Deflategate, the same reason they went after Brady is the same reason I think they're going to go after Zeke, because it's not, it's about envy. It's about other owners, and it's about lobbying. And I think they're lobbying for it. That's why it's not a coincidence that we seem to always get the strictest judgments, especially when you look at the fact that what's the receiver for the Browns Landry. Landry was on literally the same show, TMZ. He slapped his baby mama. A month later, it came in, no games. Swept it right under the rug. But when it's Dallas Cowboys, I think they go pretty much throw a book at him. So I think it's gonna end up even being 6, in in my opinion, and it might even go down to 4, or it's gonna go 4 and 4 games go down to 2.
Okay. I mean, my thought, just to kind of piggyback on, I mean, I love your analogy of it. I'm hoping none of that happens because nothing of what you said leads me to believe that you believe that he's not going to get any games. I'm under the belief is this, right? Like with Ezekiel Elliott getting suspended for the first time, we all understand that it was egregious, right? But there was no video evidence. There was no actual information where we could actually see and make a decision ourselves. If you give Ezekiel Elliott 12 games to 8 game suspension off of that video, that will seem extremely egregious. And I'm going to be honest with you, if I'm an NFL owner, I need to be afraid that you're going to do my player like that. Because, bro, one thing about these Cowboys is, like, a lot of our stuff is defensible. Kareem Hunt, bro, we knew he was wrong. And they got that over quick. So, I mean, if Zeke gets 8 to 12 games for this, then if I'm Tyrone Crawford, bro, you might as well go play basketball because you done. You know what I'm saying? So, I definitely think, and I understand that Tyrone Crawford, this is his first offense, but at the same time, the video is way more egregious. Way more egregious.
Yeah, West Coast.
Go ahead, Charles.
On that point, I mean, in regard to his suspension, I felt like his first suspension was guilty in the court of public opinion, okay? It was surrounding a woman. It was surrounding alleged allegations of mistreatment or domestic violence. And so in America today, you are guilty until you prove yourself innocent, okay? And so with all the sensitivity and the NFL marketing around wanting to keep young boys playing football and actually market to that 18 to 34-year-old childbearing years audience of women, they were going to come down hard on Ezekiel Elliott, and there was nothing he could do about it. This instance is not as egregious. The police were handled with a decent amount of respect by him, and I think maximum he gets 4 games. He probably comes out with 2 games. That's my opinion on that.
Yeah, so we got 2 games. We got 2 games from the OC. You got West Coast saying that I don't believe he's getting no games, and then you got Boss Cowboy saying he's going from the 8 to 12. So you got basically all of the different plateaus that, you know, all 3 areas where he can hit. We got them all covered. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I think we can all
perfect hedge.
Yeah, but I mean, the cool thing about the game, man, is like this is what I'm really, really hoping, right? This is what I'm hoping, and this is what I believe is this, right? The relationship between Roger Goodell and Jerry Jones has been horrible. And to be honest with you, the only person that can really intimidate Roger Goodell is Jerry Jones. You know what I'm saying? Because Jerry Jones is really the only person that has the buying power to actually do what he really wants to do. Why? Because Jerry Jones doesn't take in part of all the marketing and stuff that the NFL does. So technically, Jerry Jones can be like, I don't need your money because they make their own money. You know what I'm saying? So that gives Jerry Jones a little bit more leeway and a little bit more power anyway. I think that's a part of the reason why Jerry Jones was able to lead that charge 2 years ago when they was trying to get Roger Goodell out of here. Why? Because nobody else was really in that financial position to do that. Like, think about this. The Cleveland Browns haven't won more than 8 games in 4 years? And they won 7 last year. They haven't won more than 8 games in 3-4 years, but they didn't have enough money to change their uniform 3 times. Where are they getting that from? You know what I'm saying? Roger Goodell keeps their franchise because of the politics and the things he does. He makes sure that those other 31 teams eat. Now, this is where the mercy comes in, right? This is where I see Roger Goodell being able to make himself out to look. Because I'm thinking like this. If you suspend Zeke, yeah, bro, only thing it's going to forward is the narrative that you don't like the Cowboys. And that we can, and that, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be honest with you. Bro, if he do suspend Zeke, bro, it needs to be all hell. Like, Jerry needs to go all hell's guns to the wall. Because what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? If you got blackmail paperwork on it, let's get it popping. Why? Because what do you have to lose? You know what I'm saying? But my thing is this. In business, there's some times where you can extend kind of like an enemy and olive branch. You know what I'm saying? And I think that this is an easy olive branch that Roger Goodell could hand Jerry Jones, even though we all know that it's BS. You know what I'm saying? He could give Jerry Jones his olive branch and say, you know what? We're not going to admit that last 6 game was crazy. But what we will do is we'll say after this, we starting on an even playing field. And that's what and I'm gonna be honest with you, that will go farther with Roger Goodell than anything. Because the narrative about him already is that he's the NFL Nazi. If you get suspended, he suspended you. You know what I'm saying? That's already the narrative. So I'm hoping that Roger Goodell sees this as an opportunity where he can go against the narrative, which in my opinion will help him so much better. Like nobody likes the bad guy.
I think it's one chance at that, West Coast, and I think the chance at that is knowing that they're going into the CBA in 2020, right? So to hit Zeke like that could also be kind of a warning shot to other owners, especially when your player was Kareem Hunt, right? Even though they did handle Kareem Hunt within, it's still a signal that you could be next. And so it, to me, would harden the players union, you know? And they already gearing up. They
for a lock, exactly. They're already getting ready for a lockout.
They gearing up for NASA. They told all the players, y'all need to save your money for a year.
And that's why, and to be honest with you, that's why I believe this would be a great situation for Roger Goodell. Because think about this: Roger Goodell does not make any money in a holdout, in a lockout, and nobody wants, like, the one thing that's tarnished on Bill Tagliabue. If y'all have been watching football for a long time, but Bill Tagliabue, that was the commissioner before Goodell. And that the only thing that really marred his legacy was the fact that they had a holdout. You know what I'm saying? They had the lockout. You know what I'm saying? The NBA's also had one also. You know what I'm saying? And guess what happened? They moved on and got Silver in there. You know what I'm saying? Most owners don't come back from that because you lose so much money.
Another thing I think could do it too is also kind of in that vein. It could be to where, because sometimes you get in those boardrooms and you look at the data and you say, you might see something like this. You might see something like, you might see
You're good.
Sorry about that, guys. Good.
Why that you doing shows with no pants on though, man?
Sorry about that, guys. No, my kids.
So you might see something like it took my thought. But okay. But you might see something similar to man, it took my thought, man.
Well, we were talking about what the hell was we talking about? Hey, y'all in the comment box.
The second thing that could happen from this. I remember it was the second thing, but okay, I know the first thing.
Start from the first thing.
Goodell could mess around and kind of let this go. Man.
We were talking about the holdout, and we were talking about the holdout, and I was saying Roger Goodell doesn't make any money in the holdout because during the holdout, no team is making any money. They still have, because you got to remember, a lot of people think that these stadiums are owned by the teams, and a lot of them are not. Like Dallas Stadium is not owned by Jerry Jones. And if you do not believe me, just go wiki it. You know what I'm saying? Google it. It's owned by the city of Arlington. You know what I'm saying?
I remember now.
So they still have bills that they have to pay that they're not bringing in any income. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're still playing players. You know what I'm saying? You're still paying salaries. You're still paying all this stuff, and no money is coming in. So lockouts are bad. Like, that's why they can just threaten you with a lockout, and typically they can get something done. You get what I'm saying, Boss Cowboy?
No doubt, man. The thread evil, man. They laughing at us, man. That ain't funny, man. But anyway, yeah, the second reason why that it could happen is because the NFL might have had a meeting about this, and they're gonna look at certain data points, right? And they'll say, okay, we're doing great.
Anthony said, "I own the stadium." Sorry about that. I said Anthony said, "I own the stadium of Dallas." If you were a resident of the city of Arlington, then technically you might. If you own property, you might. Well, you better go in and get your piece.
All right, man. Get me my point.
Go.
They'll be sitting in boardrooms, okay, and they'll look at data, and they'll say the public relations from us having a draft in other cities is great, right? They'll look at the campaign with the Army and the military. As we've been doing this military campaign, it's going great. They obviously did the cancer campaign. Where is it now, West Coast?
They got in a little trouble because the women they said there's more cancers than just the women's. So because the NFL. Come
So
on,
it's not what it
you know
used
how
to be,
much
right?
pink stuff they
You
were
don't see
selling.
a month of pink anymore, do you?
No,
right?
but you know how much
No.
pink stuff they sold, man. They made a
No,
whole lot of
I know
money
they
off
sold
that.
it, but I'm just talking about how it was here and then it's gone.
Oh yeah,
right?
oh yeah,
So
like
when
overnight
looking
in
at
one
the
season.
PR of it, looking at the PR of it, then they might say our plan was to look tough on drugs and domestic violence, and then they might say we getting killed in that area. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then it might be getting ready to readjust it. They're not gonna do it now. They're gonna do what? Hold it for leverage for the CBA. So I see two reasons going into the CBA where they could, where they looking at the PR of it, and especially with a big fan base like us, right?
Yeah.
And New England, right? You had the two biggest fan bases and two biggest teams in terms of value are upset, So if it's causing them to take a business hit to the Shield, they might be trying to get away from punitive damage.
Exactly, and just like with Robert Kraft.
So I'm saying those are two reasons to where you
Yep.
might be right.
And just
But
like
if
with
we
Robert
judge it
Kraft.
from the past, if we just judge it from the past and not looking at what could be the potential politics or the political environment, and I'm not talking about Republican, Democrat, I'm talking about NFL politics, PR, that type stuff. When you're looking at that, the West Coast, I can see where you have hope to have no games because it's the same thing that happened with Philly, right? They was tired of the Dez rule, remember?
Yep.
They was tired of having the controversy of did he catch it or did he not catch it. They knew they was going to implement the Dez new rule, but when did they really implement it?
After they announced that it was a catch.
Actually in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If that rule was still in place, Philly would have had 3 touchdowns taken away.
You know what I'm saying?
When they won the Super Bowl.
Go ahead, Charles. Go ahead.
Let me jump in here, Boss Cowboy. I mean, listen, and I'm not trying to bust anybody's bubble, but let me say this plainly. There will be no holdout, okay? There will be no holdout. And I'll give you one reason. I can give you a whole bunch. Money, okay? The statistics say that most professional athletes are broke 4 to 5 years after their retirement, okay?
Yep.
So we're not dealing, and I hate to say this, we're not dealing with the most financially frugal people out there. The greater part of the NFL are paid the league minimum, okay?
Yep.
Right? They're not paid. We see the big contracts featured, okay? So these guys are playing for families and for their children and for their significant others or girlfriends or whomever. And for that reason, there will be no holdout. And the owners, they make, as West Coast stated, so much money. And when we say so much money, we mean billions of dollars.
Yeah, that's
okay?
too much money.
Billions with a B, okay? So that's not happening. No, they're going to work out and negotiate. And what's going to happen from the owner side, they're going to craft certain things, which I do predict that they will allow marijuana to be something that is legalized, quote unquote, in terms of drug testing moving forward in 2020. But in terms of any type of significant holdout, no way.
Yeah, and
I'm
then
definitely not saying that yet. I was saying that's why I think West Coast could be right. The two reasons to where he might not get a suspension at all is to where they just could be like they was on the Dez catch, like we tired of dealing with that.
Yeah, and then
we done with that, and I think it could be for the first reason I said as well.
And also think about this, the exact same thing you were just saying right now, Boss Cowboy. I think the NFL, just like with the Robert Kraft, they know that there is no money when you're at war. If y'all watch Game of Thrones, I'm going to tell you like this. How much gold did they accompany when they was actually out here taking over? You don't get much gold. You know what I'm saying? You get a gang of slaves, but you don't get much gold. Why? Because you can't make a lot of money when you at war. You know what I'm saying? You make the money when you at peace. You know what I'm saying? And it's like this, man. Roger Goodell, at the end of the day, they're hiring him because he has brought the NFL to be profitable. Now the NFL is a 12-month sport. It used to be, 6 months, 7 months, and the NFL was done. You wouldn't hear nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm damn near kept turning off my cable because I'm like, there's nothing. But now I can't even do that. Why? Because everything is a major event. That's why they love Roger Goodell. Why? Because they get to sit their narrow tail at home and they rocking chairs and not even, most of these owners don't even come to games, bruh. Not come to games and get a paycheck, bruh. That's why they like Roger Goodell. A lockout threatens all that. Threatens all that. Like, to be honest with you, when they put Roger Goodell in for this second contract, you're absolutely right. I think that's some of their back alley deals when they're telling him like, yo, and he's letting them know like, I guarantee you there will not be a lockout. Because, bro, when there's a lockout, nobody's making money.
Absolutely. Absolutely, West Coast. 100% agree.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I believe they're going to get it done. But, hey, but you also made a really good point, though, man. You made a really good point about getting this thing passed because I also believe that me and Boss Cowboy was talking about this, man. I also believe that it's going to come at a price. Like, I live in the state of California, man, and I'm going to keep it real right now. I mean, if you grow marijuana and you sell marijuana, like, illegally before it got legal, you probably upset right now because you not making that too much money. Why? Because there's so much taxes that now the exact same people who were benefiting off the tobacco industry, major industry, are the same people benefiting.
Yep.
75, 85, $95,000 licenses to grow marijuana. Bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And to that point, it's a $1 billion industry though. You know, and in addition to just the recreational purposes of marijuana, it's so much research coming out about the medicinal benefits of it, which why it will continue to explode until the next 20, 30 years.
yeah. And then I mean, people are asking like, what do you mean by a compromise? Like, you know, they've been working very hard to get the NFL to kill 2 preseason games and add and make it damn near an 18-game season. Like, when I say a compromise, like, you know, is that gonna happen? Also, I'm gonna tell you something else, a scary compromise they might slide in there. What if they tell them this? What if the owners say, well, okay, we'll let the marijuana in, we'll let it in, but we want to be able to tag you a 3rd year. Ooh, what if they? Bro, like, imagine that, where they can franchise tag you a 3rd year without the escalation. Imagine how that affects D-Law. D-Law ain't got no contract.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think if they do something like that, bro, Dak probably don't even think about having a contract. Why? Because you just franchise tag him 3 times.
Right. Yeah,
It's gonna come with a compromise.
Franchise tag for a 3rd year is a bit egregious. All right, to say the least. I think that,
but you know they like that franchise tag. You know the owners love the franchise tag.
But I think that wasn't the point. He was more so saying as an example the give and take, and like I said, it's gonna cost you. You know what I mean? So he was saying basically, we holding over here to where we don't want our players penalizing marijuana, and we don't want y'all Goodell being the police officer, the jury, and the judge. And then the NFL gonna say, okay, if you want that, we want 18 games. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And think about this, which benefits the NFL, because all those everybody, think about this. If the NFL says that we're going to go to an 18-game system, do you know that every single person up to that day has just officially got ripped off on their contract? You want to know why? Because you just got 2 free games because when you got enumerated, it was off of 16 games.
Facts. It's gonna be a
so
fight.
You literally just cut.
There ain't gonna be no holdout. It depends on what chips people trying to get in there. But I actually cut you off, Charles.
Go ahead, Charles. Go ahead.
No, I was bringing this point to a close. No, and my whole point about what West Coast said was just to bring out a point to agree with both you guys. Yes, there will be a give and take, but I think that if the NFLPA is going to negotiate smartly, it will be a moderate give and take, okay? Can I see 18 games? Yes. Maybe 17 games is more likely. 18 games causes the injury rate to go up tremendously because at the end of the year, everybody is falling apart. I don't care.
They kill the 2 preseason games. They already want to kill the first 2 preseason. They already want to.
Right. Absolutely. And so I think that maybe we keep some revenue in keeping the preseason games there. I think also you mandate doing more national exhibition games, which is a decent give and take, having some games in Asia, having more games in England, having more games in Mexico, as to build the NFL brand, which is a major inconvenience for teams that maybe have a couple mandatory games overseas. I think things like that will be more in line for the NFLPA's benefit in terms of like chips, versus the third-year franchise tag. I can't see an extra game. I think 18 games is unreasonable. Maybe adding an extra preseason game. I think things like that and working out how you structure contracts where it benefits the owners in some type of cut clauses or things like that. I see things like that as more so the bargaining chips.
Yeah, I mean, I think anything that will keep, because I'm gonna tell you, when you're a billionaire, it's not real. It's about making more money, but you know you're a billionaire. But the number one thing that billionaires are trying to do is keep the money that's already in their safe. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. Like I know everybody's like, well, they wouldn't, the franchise tag and extra. Think about this: the fact that we have a franchise tag. What other sports has a franchise tag? NBA don't have one. NFL doesn't have one. Major League Baseball doesn't have one. Bro, could you imagine the Cleveland Cavaliers telling LeBron James that, no, bro, we're going to tag you this year and you can't leave? You know what them boys would do? You know what they would do in the NBA?
That's probably going to be the main fight right there.
But I'm going to tell you, you know what they would do in the NBA? They'll go overseas. The exact same thing Porzingis did when he said, yo, trade me or I'm going home. And that's the real reason why the Dallas Mavericks got him.
Yeah, I think that guarantee going to be a little bit different after this 2020 CBA.
They're going to do something, bro. They're going to do, because they like the owners. Think about the trend. Think about the trend on all the major franchise players this year. They either picked up their option or they're franchise tagging them. They're not really trying to pay these guys, man. Even though they're making more money every single year.
West Coast. Real quick, man, I want to do a spin move.
Go.
Actually, a flop. The flop like the security guard.
Okay.
That said he's thinking about pressing charges on Zeke.
You just asked me. You asked me my thoughts on it.
It took a while. I had those pause for effect. I wanted to do a spin move, but I changed it to a flop.
Okay.
Like a security guard.
Okay. Well, we're gonna do that right after this commercial break. The 2019 Dallas Cowboys season is only a few months from kicking off. But this year, let's do things a little different. Instead of just watching games at home or just going to a game, let's actually experience our Dallas Cowboys, just like West Coast does. Cowboys Experience is my one-stop shop for all my Cowboys game day weekends. Their packages are all inclusive, including 2 nights hotel accommodation. We'll pick you up and drop you off at the airport and game. Want to hang out and get autographs from current and former Cowboy greats like Drew Pearson? If you're ready to experience the Dallas Cowboys like no other, make sure you inbox West Coast or go to cowboysexperience.com today. The 2019 Dallas Cowboys season is all right. So before we go on to our next thing, man. So obviously we know that the guy, I call him the America's douche. America's douche went on air, and man, I'm sorry, bro. You go on national TV with your comb over like that, man, and you ain't even had your barber hit your sides, bro. Like, he really disrespected his barber when he went online, because he could have had his barber hit that side right there. It was kind of higher than the comb over. I didn't like that. But my thing is this, bro. My biggest take from his whole interview, and y'all heard the interview on my page. My whole take is this: you made a guy making $7 million a year while in handcuffs at 3 o'clock in the morning apologize to a $12 an hour security guard, and he did it. Bruh, I'm Tyrese. What more do you want from me? What do you want from me? Like, bruh, you clout chasing. What's y'all thoughts, man, before we push on?
Man, I don't mean to laugh. This is one that I'm actually happy about. Y'all say, Marcus, Boss Calvin, you twisted. Why you happy? Why you laughing? Like, look, usually when we get in trouble, it's something that's kind of obvious, right? You know, it's something where Crawford was fighting, Terrence Williams was drunk, Zeke lifted a shirt, right? It was something. This one was nothing, right? And I'm happy about it, because this one highlights to an exponential degree how targeted you are as a professional athlete, and then even more so a Dallas Cowboy. See, because when you just in a fight they can tell you you're targeted, you're targeted, you're targeted. Hey, when you're a Dallas Cowboy, Jason Gary having a talk, you're targeted. You got to be on your best behavior. No, this is the perfect film. This is great coaching film. You take this film and you say, look, this is why all of you have to be fully aware. It's not about just having fights. At this point, y'all are tickets and lottery tickets to people that's struggling, right? So it's people out there that's looking at LeBron James at any moment just because they know you rich. So you think you can walk around and have an argument and then bumping into somebody, right, like you're in high school. Yes, that would have worked in high school. Yes, that would have worked at Ohio State. But now look at you. More than likely what happened is that guy that night probably didn't care. He was like, yeah, man, I'll accept your apology. Go ahead. But I guarantee you an attorney called him and said, look, man, you probably have a settlement if you work with me. Because this is what we're going to do. We're going to call this reporter. We're going to sit you down. We're going to threaten that we're going to probably press charges. Zeke is sitting under a barrel because of his agreement with a 6-game suspension. So if he going to want to get out of this, and in this agreement it says if you have any other incidents with law enforcement, you could be suspended for life. He's going to want to settle. So he prepped him. That's why he said he apologized to me, but he didn't mean it. And see, they need to see stuff like this, and not just him, the whole 32 teams. I ain't talking about the obvious stuff like fights and slapping and drunk and stuff like that. I'm talking about when you just bumped into somebody, right? This type of lesson should really work this time, because the others will be like, oh, I'm not no fool. I don't get drunk. I don't do that. But you got to know. You got to really know. If you're a Dallas Cowboy and a Dallas Cowboy star and an NFL athlete, but especially Dallas,
I mean,
just a soul. And let me shows that.
And I think we all believe that's what happened. But the only problem is, bro, I'm sorry, but I do not believe that adults learn from other adults' mistakes. They just don't, bro. Like, that's why we have crime. Like, we just don't. Like, there's too many. Like, we want to know why? Because adults, at the end of the day, still have the decision to make the decision because you are an adult. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm sorry, like, if we was a kid, kids can do that, but like Ezekiel Elliott then ran into grown men. So there is basically what you're doing is you're trying to pry that childhood fear out of them. But bro, that doesn't work when you then ran into 300-pound linebackers, bro. Like, I'm not afraid of that. And then also, you have guys like Rico Gathers who play football but just don't care as much as other folks. You know what I'm saying? So you could be trying to prove a point to a guy that just don't really care. You know what I'm saying? So I just think, honestly, man, like, you keep everything where it is and just try to hope that you can always get up some good people. Charles, I know you had a point real quick before we go into our another subject, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you. So here's the deal. Ezekiel Elliott, I love as a football player, but he's been a prodigy since he's been a young kid playing football. Zeke has been, for all intensive purposes, spoiled, if you look at his background, okay? And so Zeke is used to winning. Zeke is used to getting his way. Zeke is used to being the man. But he has to understand and have the self-awareness to understand the mistakes that he's made in the past, the situation that he is, and that he will not get a pass, and that he will be, as you said, Boss Cowboy, targeted if he makes silly mistakes. And the fundamental thing is this. If you want to party, if you want to drink, if you want to hang out, you have a nice house, do it at home. Don't do it around people that can target or use you as prey based upon indiscretion if you did have a little bit too much to drink or whatever the case may be. You have to have more wisdom. You have to grow up. And I talked to you about this a couple months ago, Boss Cowboy. We talked about Ezekiel Elliott. You got to grow up a little bit. You got to grow up a little bit. You got to know, hey, you're in the NFL, which means not for long if you keep making mistakes like this, because they will ban you if you keep doing this kind of stuff. So you got to have more wisdom and more discretion. And this also takes me back to Ben Roethlisberger. Remember how early in his career he got in all this trouble with different girls and different situations?
It wasn't early in his career. It was early in his career, and then he waited for like 4 years, and then he did it again.
Exactly. Now, we can talk about the discriminatory perception of certain things to your facial expression, West Cowboy, because I see it on your face. But the whole point is that, hey, at some point, you got to calm it down. Charles say this, and I heard him in an interview. He used to say, because people used to cuss Charles Barkley all the time. He used to just look at him and say, "Hit me, please. Hit me, please." Because they would threaten him, they would say all types of things to him, because then he would have a defensible case to say that if he hit you and knocked you out, that it was self-defense. So you got to have some wisdom.
Yes, great point. And I just want to say one more thing, Wes, because I know we get ready to go to the other point. I always try to at least find some silver lining, right? Some kind of good news, cup half full type of thing. This does have the Dallas Cowboys on Zeke's contract.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, think about this. Stacy, his dad, came out and said that Ezekiel Elliott will be, and to keep it real, like Ezekiel Elliott's still going to be the highest paid running back in the NFL, and the reason being is because like you still have to pay him with a degree of faith. You can't come in there and be like, oh, well, we're just gonna give you $50. Why? Because man, you can't stay in trouble. Then Zeke be like, well, let me play out my thing and go about my business. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you still got a degree and trust. But what I think this does is I think this helps the Dallas Cowboys on that guaranteed money. You know what I'm saying? On that guaranteed money.
That guarantee go be the one he go get hit on.
Like I definitely think it helps him on that guaranteed money.
That's fair because you are risky. I mean, you have to pay somebody like that more because he's more guaranteed, right? Because his track record. But now you're looking at Zeke, and especially with a clause that's sitting on you for life, that says if you get in any other trouble with law enforcement, we can give you suspension up to banishment. That stain is permanent. That's in his contract. You got to factor that into the guarantee, and you know Jerry and Steven will, especially after this.
Yeah, and that's why you get that's why I said it's going to help you out. It's definitely going to help you out on the guaranteed money because you can. I mean, don't nobody care about. Honestly, at the end of the day, Jerry Jones don't really care about Zeke being the highest paid, running back. He cares about how that affects his cap. You know what I'm saying? Right. So if you can take that. He was gonna give you that cap anyway. He was hoping that you make him you the highest paid running back because that means the investment that he took when he drafted you checked in. You know what I'm saying? Because if you weren't paying Zeke, that means that 4th overall pick was a waste then. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of to be expected. But I definitely think it helps you on that guaranteed money. Why? Because bro, like I can't guarantee no 60, 70, 40, 50% of no contract, at least not no 60% of no contract, because guaranteed means that you're guaranteeing me to play. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the same thing I said about Dak Prescott. I don't mind Dak Prescott having a lot of guaranteed money because that guarantees he gonna play. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just saying.
I want to say one more thing too, man.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, but you can't.
Totally. But remember, and this is it's not nothing to be too afraid of. I'm afraid of Zeke's dad more than I'm afraid of Zeke, right? Zeke's dad to me seems like he's almost like a wannabe agent to a degree. And, sometimes when the wrong person is, you can create a bail type of thing because what really made bail agreement fall apart at Pittsburgh was the guarantee.
Yeah. Because, at the end of the day, bro, it's like when you guaranteeing, like I'm guaranteeing that I'm going to pay you this money. So you get what I'm saying? So, Marcus, if I say I guarantee you, you have a business, right? And you say, okay, I'm going to guarantee you your business for $100, right? But at the same time, you know what you're also doing? You're guaranteeing your product for $100.
Yeah.
So it's a two-way relationship.
Yeah. And bail was to a degree wrong. Think about it. Because some people don't think of it like that. You suspended, brother. You missed 4 games for marijuana, right? You already kind of one smoke away. You one bad night, one relapse away from another 10 games to indefinite. But you want all this guarantee.
And he wanted to get the money back from the suspension on the contract, which was just like, bro, that's unheard of.
Get it from my standpoint, you already kind of got a party type of vibe on you, my brother. So we finna give you all this money and then sit back and trust you. When you already got and then some people, they not almost fair-minded, say, well, I haven't gotten into trouble yet. I did it once. No, bro, no. This thing says that if you get in trouble or have a relapse again, you indefinite next time, and we're gonna guarantee all this money for a running back? Yeah, I hope it don't get nasty, but if you speak alone grown, I think Zeke would be like, you know what? Y'all looked after me. You know what I mean? Y'all took care of me.
Man, this is the second time
I'm
Jerry.
afraid of who the influences could be, but that's way down the line.
This is the second time Uncle Jerry didn't will have come through for him. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and they gonna use that as public leverage too, just like they did on Tank. They gonna use everything to say because they gonna leak out to the media, just like they did with Cooper, just like they did with Tank. Zeke is asking for something unreasonable. We're in the impasse.
Yeah, that's the third time they heard that. But I mean, the cool thing about it is now, man, it's like, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I hope that Ezekiel Elliott, man, is well. I'm gonna tell you like this: going forward, we're not gonna have any more issues with Zeke. Why? Because I can almost guarantee you he's about to get Dez Bryant all the way. The Dez Bryant rule is in effect. When I mean the Dez Bryant rule is the Dez Bryant rule is basically Jerry Jones got the whole city of Dallas on lock. He got every undercover cop and every person that's available. And what he does is he was going to assign somebody to Zeke that's going to be with him and everywhere he goes. The exact same thing he did with Dez after he got into it with his mom at Walmart. And y'all don't know about the thing at Walmart. You know what I'm saying? I remembered it. I just didn't remember the resolve for it. I didn't know that it just disappeared. But yeah, y'all forgot about the situation with Dez at Walmart. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's Jerry Jones is about to put a little man that's about to be with him at all times. The exact same thing he did with Randy Gregory and that's what he did with Dez Bryant. That's what he did. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, and to be honest with you, I mean, Ezekiel Elliott, bro, you make $6 million a year. Why are you at EDM with just your female? Like, that's dumb, bro. That's not even good business. Like, his agent, like, some of this stuff his agent should be telling him, like, bro, what are you doing? Like, if I'm his agent, I'm getting him security. Why? Because I'm protecting my investment. Because guess what? Him not getting that contract is going to affect me and him. You know what I'm saying? So somebody needs to look out for the money and get it popping, man. Yo, our last topic before we get up out of here, man. We had a great conversation with Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett had an interview. Typically, he don't say much. And on this interview, he didn't say much either, but he did say just a little bit. And I wanted to pull some of this out of this and kind of talk about it for a little bit. But this is Jason Garrett, and he's first going to be talking about the offensive line and just kind of some updates on what's been going on with the offensive line and the players playing on the offensive line. So let me see if I can get old Redhead on here real quick.
I'm going to say Buddha is on fire. Buddha talking about, let me read Buddha, man. Let me see what Buddha said. Buddha be going off.
All right, here we go.
Over the course of the offseason,
All right, go ahead and read Buddha's comment while I get this.
He played a lot of snaps for us as a rookie.
Oh, man, Buddha just killing my boy Heat, man. My boy Buddha talking about why this couldn't be. It be the wrong players. That boy Buddha crazy. He talking about Ziggy. He like, why can't be? You know, I know Buddha. Buddha say, why couldn't it be Heat? The man, Heat ain't gonna never do nothing like that, man. He got his girlfriend. I met his girlfriend.
That's his fiance.
Yeah, I met his fiance, man. He taking care of business. You ain't got to worry about that with Heat. He not go. He know what's up. It's those free spirits. It's the Ziggy types. The Micah Irvins. The parties.
All right. So here we go. Got this up right here about Connor Williams and it's updated on this offensive line. Let's talk about it.
I think he's getting there. He's certainly done a great job working hard in the offseason program and developing his body. He's a young player when we drafted him, and we knew that, and we knew that he was going to grow more as he went because of the physical stature that he had and what we saw physiologically in him, but maybe more than that, just mentally and how hard he works at it. And he's grown. I think he's put on 15 pounds. He looks really good. He's moving well. He played a lot of snaps for us as a rookie last year, and he too got better as the year went on, and he's continuing that growth here in the offseason.
Your three primary tackles didn't practice last Wednesday, but what was y'all's thought process in asking Connor to play left tackle?
Well, he played in college, as you know, and we were light on tackles, and so that's an option for us as we go forward. His versatility is something we like. We do think he's really best suited to play guard, but he's certainly capable of playing tackle. It's great to have him get some of those snaps last week.
Along the line, go ahead, Dave. Is that something y'all plan to continue, training camp going through this season?
Well, we anticipate Cam Fleming being able to practice today, so we won't be quite over a barrel like we were last week in terms of who was available to us. But we anticipate giving him opportunities to do that. He's capable of it, and getting that experience there certainly helps him.
Along the lines with McGovern and where he looks physically, sometimes when rookie offensive linemen come in, you can tell they need to add weight or just get bigger. He seems to be a guy that kind of looks like he's been around for a little bit.
Well, there's no question. Physically, he looks like he belongs. He's got a really good body, long arms, big hands. He certainly looks the part, but he'll grow and develop as well. That typically happens with rookies when they get a chance to be involved in a program for 12 months out of the year. The lifting program they're on now, the one they'll carry through up until training camp, the in-season program, and then next year you get into a rigorous off-season program from the start. All those guys will change their body. It doesn't necessarily mean like they're going to necessarily gain weight, but they'll develop more of an NFL body as they go.
Mike Weber, how has he bounced?
All right, so OC, man, I'm gonna let you get first crack at it, man, because you are the O-line specialist, man. What did you hear from that, man? What are your thoughts, and what were some jewels that you got out of that?
Yeah, so first things first. When he asked about Connor, okay, and he says, how's he doing, yada yada yada. He says he's getting there. So getting there means he is not where we want him to be. He is still developing. He's put on, and he also said he has good work ethic to give him kudos for his effort. So that's letting me know that guy is still expecting to get more growth out of Connor Williams. All right, and when he was asked about his play at tackle, and we talked about this on the show several shows back now, when we talk about the aspect of him playing tackle, he said he paused, and he said, well, we expect to have Cam Fleming back soon. But he's done a great job, and of course he'll get opportunities. But that's the second part is fluff, okay? The first part is the real answer. Have Cam Fleming back at tackle. And he also stated a third very important thing. He said, well, he's really best suited to play guard. So that's letting you know that in terms of Connor Williams, they want more growth out of him. He's not exactly where they want him to be, okay? And here's the deal. He's an emergency tackle. That's all that means. He's an emergency tackle, all right? When you talk about pick number 90, and I like to call him Big Baby affectionately because I'm watching tape on him all the time now. All right, Big Baby. Big Baby is a thumper. He's a big, strong dude. He has really, really good step off the ball and bang and battle with you on combo blocks, okay? But he struggles even against Michigan State. The Michigan State, if you go back and look at that, he struggled against a quick get off the ball, penetrating nose guard R3 technique, okay? He looks very, very clumpy when he has to walk up to the second level in terms of trying to block a linebacker. He almost looks like he's lost a little bit, okay? But also, he's a big, strong dude, and what Jason Garrett said is true. He said, hey, he's going to grow, all right? He's going to be in our program for a year. He's going to grow. He's going to get stronger. Right now, I'm looking at this College State. He plays a little bit too high. He has to have more knee bend, more hip bend. He has to play with a stronger base in the NFL because he's going to play against guys with a whole lot more power, okay? And that's going to be his thing. And then the quickness of his first and his second step. That's the whole deal with him. That's what he's going to have to work on. I already said before, and I'm not changing, he's going to struggle some in pass pro against quick twitch, hitting the gap defensive tackles, and if they bump a defensive end to play on his outside shoulder, he's really going to struggle with a quick lateral movement because right now he's young. He's a big baby. He's not there yet, but he has a lot of potential.
Bosco, what was your thoughts?
Man, I love it, pretty much everything that Jason Garrett said and everything that they're doing right now, especially on the offensive line. I'm in love, super in love, because they going into this odd year aware of the odd year curse. So what pretty much hurt us most odd years is not being properly prepared for the worst things that could happen. So they're preparing their guys not going to get into that situation and say, oh, God, what we're going to do. They're anticipating. And I love it. I love it, because that's what got us in trouble in 2017. We was out there thinking, okay, we just, went to the dollar store and we picked up Bell from free agency. We got Chaz Green. It's Chaz Green, but, hey, we got Tyron Smith, even though he's super injury prone. At that point he was. Even though he's super injury prone, we have faith it's going to work out. And then we all know what happened. Dak was outpacing Wentz all the way up to the first 8 games, even when Wentz was on the MVP level. And what happened? He lost Zeke, and who did he lose? Tyron at the same time. And what did they do?
Yeah, we didn't do good. I just
So
go ahead.
I love that they're preparing a lot of contingencies. And you know me, West Coast, I'm gonna say it like it is. I hated pick 90. But now that I really understand pick 90, I'm in love with it. I get it now. Because my first initial response was, somebody must be on the bubble, but it wasn't anybody on the bubble. It's just we went super, super extra deep in case Frederick is tripping, Connor Williams not working out, and something might happen with Looney. And we don't want to be in an emergency situation on the core of who we are, and that's a physical running team. So the fact that they even experiment right now, man, when I tell you I'm in love, I've never wanted to kiss Jason Garrett on his forehead, but I would literally, after that press conference, go to him and I'll say, on his forehead.
Hey, Boss Cowboy, to that point, man, let me make a quick prediction on that offensive line, West Coast. Here's the deal, okay? If Connor Williams struggled with power rushers in the beginning part of the season, like he did last season, if he struggles, McGovern will get the start at left guard. All right? You heard it here first, okay?
I heard it.
First. All right?
Write it
If he
down.
struggles against power defensive tackles the first couple of games, they're going to put number 90 in. Okay, the pick number 90, McGovern. They'll put him in, and he will get the start at left tackle. I'll guarantee you that.
I mean, the Giants defensive line.
Left guard, excuse me.
The Giants defensive.
Floridian slip happens.
The Giants defensive line ain't what it used to be. Week 2, you got Washington, so Washington's gonna have a legitimate defensive line. Miami, not so much, and week 4 against the Saints, you're gonna get tested.
Yeah.
We gave up 7 sacks against the Saints last year, so we definitely gonna get tested. But man, I mean, I don't know, man. It's a whole lot of moving parts for a unit to already for basically on. I mean, think about this. We only realistically have like 2 open positions, but it sounds like we got 5. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever seen like a cheer team? They trying out. They having a hosting tryouts for 50 people, but they know they only picking 1. Like that's what it feels like is going on with the offensive line right now because Tyron Smith ain't going nowhere. If he can play, he playing. Zach Martin's playing, and I have a strong feeling that Travis Frederick is getting the start regardless. You know what I'm saying? So Travis Frederick is out there. So and then Lyle Collins. So it's like you basically got all these people that are really fighting over one guard position. You know what I'm saying? Because my thing is this, like, I would like to have them to said something about, that tackle. He said that he was best suited at guard. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that makes sense for him to say that because, I mean, the dude didn't spent all of freaking offseason trying to look like a guard and you go on media and be like, yeah, we see him as a tackle. I'd be like, what the hell? Yeah, I'd be like, what? If I'm Connor Williams, I'm like, what the hell? What did I just eat all this food for? You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
and that's why at first I hated pick 90.
Yeah, so it's like Jason Garrett, he gotta love it. He gotta love it. He has to be all for it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But at the same time,
the best teams West Coast have depth at offensive line and they have competitive preseasons. Okay, so a worst case scenario that you get out of this, even if you have Fredericks back 100%, is you get a competitive preseason and you have guys battling it out from free agents to draft picks, and then also to vets trying to establish themselves and still show that they're the man.
Yeah.
So it's very, very good. And then also in terms of trade value, okay, and getting in players and rounding out your final 53, you do got some pieces there that could help you if some of these guys show up and they just play great.
Yeah, and there's something that I wrote down while we were doing this, and I said, it sounds like the Cowboys are not having so much faith in faith. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes as a nation, and this is actually, I'm not gonna point nobody out, but it was kind of like the tone of this when we were waiting for the show to go live. I'm watching the things, and I'm reading the comments, and I read a comment when somebody was like, "Yeah, I got faith that if Zeke gets suspended, that this person is gonna come in and they're gonna be carried a load." I'm like, well, if that's the case, let them carry the load now and trade Zeke. Let's get something for him. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I be saying, like, sometimes we have too much faith. You know what I'm saying? Like, faith is something there has to be some type of evidence of the faith. It just can't be like, I believe that that $1,000 is gonna fall out of the sky. Like, what is your foundation of that? You know what I'm saying? What solidified that? You know what I'm saying? Like your acceptance of Christ. You know what I'm saying? What solidified that? So when people just throw out their blind faith, I got faith, like, on what? You know what I'm saying? And I think the Dallas Cowboys at time, that's what we did. Like, we just had faith that the offensive line was going to be okay without Travis Frederick. When Travis Frederick went down, realistically, like, they put Joe Looney in, but they just had faith that he was going to come back at some point. Because we really didn't even get a backup for Joe Looney. You know what I'm saying? Praise God, he didn't go down. Just like and then we got rid of Dez Bryant. I was able to get him. I always try to get Dez in the show at least one time. Dez Bryant, we had all this faith. There's not another number one wide receiver in the NFL. Sometimes, bruh, don't have faith. Be realistic. You know what I'm saying? Because
West Coast, I promise you, brother, and I mean this, brother. If you was said that in church and I was on the organ, I would have hit that. You got to recognize Pentecostal churches when they say that. That boy say you got to stop having faith in faith. Man, I would have hit that organ on that.
Yeah, because you got to have some substance behind it. That's just like you sitting at home and saying, I got faith, I'm going to get a job. No, go find one.
Yeah, I see the plan. Like, sometimes, that's why the drafts are emotional, and sometimes they throw us off, and it takes us a while to catch up. And sometimes they'll tell a little bit of a lie, and they'll come back around and straighten it. Because we now know Connor McGovern was not for Lee L. Collins. We need to stop that right now. That never was the case, and that never made sense, right? To fire somebody a year out. That never was the case. It was always about depth and insurance and planning for, like you said, not having faith in faith. We want to have backups, not faith.
Thank you.
So, to your point, West Coast, the Cowboys are building their house on the rock, baby.
Man.
In that draft is get defensive line depth, and they got offensive line depth, and they tried to improve in the secondary, and they picked up some backup security running backs. So they're going to be just fine, pending they play together, and Kellen Moore doesn't just sabotage the play call. They should be fine.
Yeah.
And I don't even see that at all.
Hey, and I want to clear something. My boy Carlos says, bro, we've had faith for how long, how many years now? I don't want nobody to say I'm not discrediting faith, but what I'm saying is this. I do not have faith that Jesus Christ, who I believe is as my Lord and Savior, is going to pay my mortgage on the first. I don't have faith for that. Let me tell you why. Because I go to work every day, and I know how much money is in my bank account. So I just do my part and swipe the card. You know what I'm saying? Like we shouldn't need faith, like my pastor say, you shouldn't need Jesus Christ to go in the phone booth, put on a Superman cape, and save you every single day. Like, what are you doing in your life? If he got to save you every single day, like, some of this stuff is common sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I understand the offensive line thing now. Why? Because, bro, we gave up 56 sacks last year. You going to give a quarterback $30 million and do a Deshaun Watson? When I say Deshaun Watson, I mean this. Let your quarterback get hurt, a season-ending hurt, and the very next year, you give up 64 sacks. That's what I called a Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, that's that crazy faith.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and we don't really have a reason to be pessimistic either. Like, I understand we all angry about waiting 23 years since our last Super Bowl.
Oh, Travis said faith without works is dead. Exactly, bro. That's what I'm saying.
We have a reason to be optimistic. Like, if you
point, Travis.
About a 23 years, yeah, you're gonna be a very, very big Debbie Downer. So really, what I say, dude, is judge us according to Will McClay's era, because when he started, that changed everything. With him, we go into the playoffs every other year. That was not happening before Will McClay. We was having 5-year windows of nothing and droughts, and then 2007, 13-3, drought. 2014,
Drought.
You know, but that was the Will McClay era. Then it was 2014, small drought. Bang, 2016, 13-3. Not even a real drought in 2017, 9-7. Boom, bang out 10-6. Now, so it's like we have a reason to be optimistic. Let's not be like Philly fans.
Yeah, and that's a great point.
We are moving, even though it's bumpy. The truck going in the right direction.
It is. Go ahead, Charles. I know you had something on you, OC.
Yeah, and to your point, West Coast, I mean, here's the deal. Going back to your great comment about the Texans, they have a front office issue because think about it, they ruined David Carr's career.
Oh.
They let him get sacked 60 some odd times for 2 or 3 consecutive years. They wrecked his career, and he was a really good quarterback with great potential coming out of Fresno. So Cowboys are being extremely wise and extremely prudent with the depth that they're doing because of the amount of money, to your point, Boss Cowboys, they're about to pay and invest in Dak Prescott.
Yeah. So, that's why, and you know what it is, too? Dak Prescott could really show how much he's really worth this money, too. By what? By navigating all this. Because franchise quarterback, you know what a franchise quarterback says? Antonio Brown, shut up. Le'Veon Bell, shut up. Everybody be quiet. We're going to go get 6. You know what I'm saying? Ben was able to do that for a long time until what? Until he started letting all them dudes talking a lot in the huddle. You know what I'm saying? When them egos get too big for the huddle, they got to go. You know what I'm saying? This is really where the face of your franchise comes out and settles all this. Whether by his play, by his just handling himself, this is where your franchise quarterback. Why? Because the house is a mess right now. Daddy got to come home and put everybody to calm and rest. You know what I'm saying? And Dak can do this. You know what I'm saying?
In the words of Troy Aikman, when there was a story that Michael Irvin was getting mad at him in the huddle and interrupting him in the huddle, and without using the language that Troy Aikman used in a form of words, he told Michael Irvin to shut up or I'm not going to throw you the ball no more.
Period.
He told him, and that's a story. That's a real story. He told him to shut up, I ain't throwing you the ball. So there's a degree of leadership and respect that quarterback has to have as a leader.
And you know Dak got that for sure.
Yeah.
West Coast, we got time to pivot.
Yeah, I want to say something real quick, too. Also, something else, man, that Zeke needs to do is Zeke needs to because Zeke was really good. I'm not saying he needs to, obviously, Zeke and Dak are two different type of folk, but I want to see Dak really if y'all really friends like Dak, it's time to have that talk with your boy. You get what I'm saying? Like Dak, like you can't just let his folks just talk to him no more. Like if you really friends, like Boss Cowboy, you can't do that no more, bro. Why, bro? Why? Because they gonna come get you if you do that, bro. And you my boy, and I don't want them to come get you, bro.
You say it to a friend too.
Yeah, like Dak should have that levy in his life to do that.
To a friend, you say, "OC, bro, that was stupid."
Yeah.
Bro, you tripping.
Like it's time for Dak to have that conversation.
Bro. We had this talk. That's how you talk to a friend. You know what I mean? You talk to him with passion because you don't want to see it.
Yeah, so I definitely, and I believe, and to be honest with you, I believe Dak Prescott, he has that ability because we all say, I'm going to tell you like this, Zeke is the engine, but Dak is the steering wheel. You know what I'm saying? Like, an engine will go any direction.
The tires.
Yeah, well, I'll say he's the engine. You know what I'm saying? He's the engine. Why? Because we're going to go as he go, but guess what? Whatever direction Dak points us in, that's the direction we're going. Because an engine, you can put an engine in any car and it'll go straight. You know what I'm saying? It still needs that little steering wheel, and guess what? The steering wheel it may not be the most powerful thing in the car, but it's also the most important because it turns the whole direction of where we're going. And that's what Zeke is, man. He's a motor. But at this point of their career, because think of this. The conversation I'm having with Dak is like this. Bro, you about to affect my money, man.
Yep.
Why? Because I'm freaking 3-4 I'm 4-3 without you.
Yep. and they on the same level.
And I'm only getting paid to get us, bro. You're affecting my money, man.
Yup. Tripping. And see it just like that. And the good thing is they are teammates, and when you like brothers, you can do that.
Yeah, and that's why Zeke brought, and I'm going to be honest with you, that's why that rookie year, that's why it was so easy for Zeke to accept that Dak Prescott got the rookie of the year. Because let's just be real, statistically, bro, I mean, you can give it to Dak, but bro, what Zeke did his rookie year was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But what I think the give back on it, and that's why Zeke was so giving to Dak. That's why he bought him the necklaces. He bought him all. Man, Zeke brought Dak a gang of stuff his rookie year. He bought him a gang of stuff. And the reason why I believe that is because I think Zeke kind of felt a little guilty. Zeke knowing, man, I'm making $6 million and you making peanuts.
1,000.
You making peanuts, and they're expecting the same out of. So that lets me know right then that they have a kinship, bro.
They do.
And it's at some point, bro, where it's like I'm sorry, bro. I had this saying, me and my wife say, bro, if you a deadbeat dad, I can't hang with you. I can't kick it with you. Why? Because if you will take advantage of your own kids, I know for a fact you're gonna steal from me. I know for a fact. So there's just certain things that you can look about people in their life. And Dak, with his character and with his reputation of in the NFL, and now with that paycheck, because that paycheck is gonna tell you who's the real leader of this team. Bro, you have it, bro. Like I'm just saying, bro. If he ain't gonna listen to nobody, he'll listen to Dak, bro. What are y'all thoughts one last time before we get up out of here, man?
Man, I want to sneak in some Jordan Lewis, but we can wait on that one.
Yeah, we got a minute. We got like a minute 20. But go ahead, round it up before we get up out of here.
Man, I'm just so happy to hear just a little bit of good news going to come out about my boy. And I'm going to read this, and obviously we're going to deal with this later in more detail. But Jason Garrett said, Jason Garrett has high praise for cornerback Jordan Lewis. Admits the team knows he's below the Mendoza line height-wise, but reaffirms his talent and grit. First, that made me mad, and then it also made me happy. It made me mad because, first of all, he's only an inch under Anthony Brown. So let's stop all this Mendoza line stuff, and but at the same time, to acknowledge him, he deserved acknowledgement, man, in my opinion, that he had to continue to be the dog that he is, though he was missing the reps. I can't wait till we really deal with that in detail. I got that on Big James' page. He could be on the show Monday. I don't know if I ain't supposed to announce that.
But yeah, let me jump in on that real quick, boss, and I'm gonna take about 30 seconds on this West Coast, and I'll be out. So based on listening to this interview with Jason Garrett, with Garrett, I don't really like his comments about Jordan Lewis, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, he said that basically he doesn't have the measurables. He talked about the Mendoza line, and then he says he's a good corner. Okay, he makes plays when he has a chance. But right after that, he says, but we have other good corners, and he has to battle for reps and to make the team.
That's some bull.
I didn't like that. I hated that because what he's saying, here's the translation. Here's how I translate that from football leads to real talk, okay? We know that you can play, Jordan. We know that you're pretty good. But we have our favorites. And so it's going to be hard for you. You're going to have to fight. You're going to have to take it. And we're going to give other people a chance ahead of you. And so they're going to have to mess up really bad before you get a real chance. So I hate his comments.
I mean, AB gave up 2 touchdowns in the first, 3 games of the season. So, I mean, he was still starting.
And every year had the most penalties and holding calls every year, and he the one. But Jordan Lewis is on the bubble.
I mean, if Jordan Lewis didn't know, that he was,
I really want this team to get rid of him.
If Jordan Lewis didn't know that he was in the doghouse by now, then he's just not cognitive of what's really going on. And I believe that he is. And I'm saying that just because,
better, man, he really does.
He do. But I'm just saying, it is what it is. It's life. You know what I mean? Such is life.
Yeah, it's life, man. You see somebody out there, dogging and playing with heart like that, and these people punching on Zeke doing the Seattle, the New Orleans game. You see your boy, he the only one, man. It's little things I look at for heart. He go push them guys out the way and pick up Zeke. He out there, man, showing he said, you can't see, and I said that about him, man. You can't play like that and not be infectious, bro. It's certain players that's infectious. I played with a receiver. He was Jerry and James. He was infectious to the whole team. Am I lying, Jabari?
No, he was a great leader, man.
A freaking receiver
Yeah, but he was a leader. You see that? But you see the word that he said though. The word that came out of his head said was a leader. Zeke
But
is
he
not
was
no
a leader
leader.
because of how he played. He was very hood to a degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you ain't got to be hood. But I'm just saying, I don't
I'm
believe.
saying like he did stuff like this, West Coast. He was like Juju. So Juju will go do the dirty stuff and the pretty stuff. Like when it's time to crack back, most receivers let up or they'll just act like they missed the linebacker. Did he ever do that, Charles?
No, he would knock out 250 pounds.
Yeah, I believe it, but what I'm saying is I do not believe one. I mean, Charles, you said something that changed my whole mindset on Zeke, and it just solidified everything I know about Zeke. Zeke, he gotta grow. Like he's been in a bubble, man. Like that's why when he got in the NFL, he was all joyful, and I'm not saying he was joyful, but he was just like overly like just being a big kid. Like they called him a big I was mad when he was at the Pro Bowl game and a freaking fan runs onto the goddamn field and Zeke takes after the dude and tackles him. I did a video on like, bro, don't you ever in your life do that again. I did a whole 15 minutes on that.
You said the key word, kid.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, because I'm gonna just be honest with you. If you was really an alpha dog, that real alpha dog, bro, you would have asserted yourself in 2016. They wouldn't have been saying this is that team. No, they would have been saying, no, it's that 4th overall picks team. That guy. But that's not Zeke, man. Zeke wants to be little brothered. So guess what?
Yeah, I was talking
little
about
brother.
Lewis grit, like his grit and his he is infectious, not Zeke. I know Zeke not. You know, I'm talking about, you know, you can see how they just rally around him. It's just to me the little things when I'm trying to read.
Jordan Lewis, I think Jordan. My thing with Jordan Lewis, man, is Jordan Lewis is I think Jordan Lewis is a revolutionary. You know what I'm saying? And I think that year where the whole F Donald Trump thing was going down, I know him and Orlando Standrick. You know what I'm saying? That year, you know, they had some words, you know, not necessarily towards each other, but just their opinion. You know what I'm saying?
I never even heard.
And he's a very well. I'm just saying.
I knew Scandrick did. I never heard.
On his IG, yeah. You know what I'm saying? On his IG, and his mama is a revolutionary. Like his mama is.
Even know.
Like, bruh, go look on his IG. His mama is this lady. Like she's that woman, strong black woman.
Got it.
So you get where I'm kind of going.
I know why in the doghouse now. Thank you.
You get where I'm kind of going now.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I personally believe, and I'm not saying that, you know, that they would just stump his whole career, but I will say this. When you feel that someone has done you dirty, it makes it easier for you to do them dirty. Doesn't mean you're going to do it, but it's just saying somebody did you dirty. You see your ex walking down the street and you see that alligator, you're going to be like, well, damn, do I really see an alligator?
Well, you know,
better get bit first, and then I'll tell you.
Jerry made his stance. He made a stance, and then he made another stance. And so he held it to his second stance.
Yeah, so. But, hey, man, well, I appreciate everybody on here, man. We are the Three Amigos, man. This show's been all over the place. It's funny because we always get on the show and be like, we're going to talk about this, and then we talk about that. You know what I'm saying? But God is good. Hey, so we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for sharing. Let me go through these comments real quick and say some up to some people before we get up out of here. And then that's going to be it, man. Buddha, what's up with you? What up with you, Ken? They need to trade him to let him. Who are you talking about? You better not be talking about trading no Zeke, man. Knock it off. Zeke is childish and immature and who has some off-field issues. Can't disagree with that. Can't disagree with that. I hope they get this Zeke problem soon instead of dragging this problem. Buddha says never look down because the star's up. You already know. Gary says JD is definitely a dog, but Brown is a upper hand right now being Chris Richard. You already know it too. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. If I ever see Chris Richard and I have a conversation that's going to be a question I'm going to ask him, like, you know, what is it that you, like, what was the, you know, if he can answer that question, I would love to ask him, like, well, what is your criteria? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the criteria to be a Chris Richard corner? And then once he say that, I'm going to be like, now, doesn't Julian Lewis fit all that? So are you actually telling me that you're overlooking all that because he's only 5'11"? And then he's going to say, with his long arms, West Coast. And I'm going to say, okay, so why isn't he playing? Why did Anthony Brown get the opportunity to grow on the football field and Jordan Lewis didn't? He's going to feel like he's in a corner, and then he's going to look out for me every time he sees me because he's going to be like, that's the guy I don't answer a question from. Now I'm playing with y'all. But, hey, Boss Cowboy, let them know where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, go to my page. Especially I have a new article out. It's a real good article. I think it's one of the best that I've written. Boss Cowboy Sports on Facebook.
And the OC, man, the O scheme. What is it? The AKA the scheme. What was it? The scheme machine. That's what it was. AKA the scheme machine. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm about to put the scheme machine on some homework, man. This week, give you 2 weeks, man. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. We're gonna figure out what possibly, because Kellen Moore had an interview that he dropped about 2 hours ago that I was going to hit y'all with. But Kellen Moore hit an interview, and he said in his interview that a lot of people, what's best to do is to take from schemes that you've been successful in. So that leads me to believe that our offense is going to look a lot like what they do in Boise, because they always have 3 wide receivers on the field and damn near 4. And then you had the comment about 10 personnel possibility. So this is what we're going to do. In 2 weeks, we're going to come back to this show right here. We're going to talk about, we're going to try to figure out exactly what we're going to be doing with this offense. But Scheme Machine, where can they find you until then?
Monday, I promise.
And hey, because, hey, I'm going to send you the interview, too. I'm going to send you the interview. Actually, I already sent it to you guys. I just didn't bring it up because I wanted to talk about it tomorrow. But he said that, and I was like, wow, that lets me know. And that's what we've been saying. Like, nobody is going to look into a scheme that didn't work. That doesn't make any sense. He's going to fall back on what worked for him, because that's what's going to make him comfortable. So guess what? That's Boise State, where he was 53-3. You know what I'm saying? And they threw the ball a lot.
I got you, West Coast. I'll be ready on that like tomorrow, really, because that's just how I operate, baby. I'm not the scheme machine for nothing, West Coast. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ready to go whenever you're ready to go. Just let me know. I need 24 hours or something like that, baby. That's it.
All right, for sure.
Yeah, have it.
All right, we for sure gonna get it to you. So I need everybody to send me as much Boise State Kellen Moore film as you can. Inbox it to the page. I'll get it over to the Scheme Machine, aka the OC, so we can start breaking this thing down. You know what I'm saying? You already know they gonna show us one thing and then totally do it totally different. So we just gotta make sure we stay up on it. Hey, you already know what it is. Tyson West Coast Cowboy, man. You can find me out right here on Dallas Cowboys Scouting on YouTube. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you for tuning in. Never look down because the stars up.